And in return for any of our vendors doing this work, instead of getting a 3% commission, they would get a 3.5% commission. And I got approval from the probate commissioner to pay our selling vendor 3.5% while still giving the buyer's agent 3%. So the total commission was 6.5%. And that was pretty much from the get-go during my administration. So at a certain point, for whatever reason, and again, both Brian and Bob were getting a good share of houses. And at some point, Zach decides that he is going to move his license from the broker where both he and Bob have hung their licenses. And he does it without telling Bob that he's going to do it. When Bob goes to move his license as well, the broker says, you cannot hang your license here unless you're going to have deals. Now, Bob enjoyed the renovation side, but obviously he still wanted to make a commission split for the work that he did. So he was not okay with not being able to hang his license, because you have to have, from what I understand, an active license hung somewhere in order to take that commission. So what he ended up doing was finding another real estate agent to assist him, to be the listing agent. Zach was very upset at Bob with this. And then it came to the point where when Zach asked me to give him a large number of houses, I couldn't, because he didn't have the access to the capital. When I would walk houses with him, he would try to minimize the importance of doing this renovation or that renovation, trying to just, again, minimize it so that he could try to get as many houses as he could without getting us what we needed to make these homes move-in ready. And so that wasn't acceptable to me. He still got homes, but he didn't get nearly as many homes as he did before. I think that's what upset him, beyond the fact that for some reason he was still hung up on that Ottawa thing that happened a year and a half before, which I don't know why that was a big deal for him, but he apparently mentioned it in his interview with the police that, that he had that. So, all right. So then I want to move to the supposed electronic evidence that was allegedly found in my phone, or a phone image, or what have you. When I was arrested, the police leaked to the media that there was allegedly a shoe found in my house. There was allegedly a hat found in my house. They allegedly found the DNA. They did not leak that they allegedly found this electronic information on my phone or on some image, despite the fact that they allegedly had it at that point. So I can't explain why that was the case. Now, when it comes to these Google Maps shots, again, I'll reiterate that I did not know Mr. Gurman's address. So whoever plugged that in obviously did know the address. And there was a photo that we were shown that showed a video camera that was right across the way from Mr. Gurman's house. I do not engage in crime, but if I wanted to do something while not being caught on camera, and I knew there was a camera right across the way, I wouldn't do it. And which also brings up another point. If I knew there was a camera right across the way, I certainly would find another means of transportation besides using my own vehicle. Certainly, I wasn't rich, but I certainly, I did okay enough that I could rent a nondescript car, but I couldn't see myself as the kind of person who would be foolish enough to use my own vehicle to allegedly commit any kind of crime. And let's see here. So again, I did not know Mr. Gurman's address, so I don't know how anyone could say that I did these searches. And then I didn't know Mr. Gurman's schedule. I did not know Mr. Gurman's schedule to know that he would be home on that day at that particular time. Yet apparently the killer knew. I did not know the layout of Mr. Gurman's home, or what room he would be in, or what, I wouldn't know how to, as they said, lure Mr. Gurman out of his house. So I didn't commit the murder. I don't know how the murderer knew that. I certainly did not. So the person who supposedly took these photos on August 15th, it seems knew that Mr. Gurman had a gray Honda from what we heard yesterday. Yet that same person, or allegedly I, decided to research Mr. Gurman's car anyway after the fact, when this person already knew that he had a gray Honda. That doesn't make any sense. And again, like I said, when you saw that the search term was for, again, Mr. Gurman's address to get to that information on the car, and I didn't know Mr. Gurman's address. Now, also, I did not buy a straw hat. I did not buy a construction shirt. I was fully investigated on my finances. I believe that if I had, that you would see evidence of that. When it came to the police search of my home, I was being detained at the police station. Now, I was not handcuffed. I was seemingly, because of the fact that I wasn't handcuffed during the entire interrogation, it would seem to me that the officers who, Gaddis and Jappy, who had me in that room, did not fear that I was a danger to them. So I was stuck in that room until the search was done. My wife was sequestered, along with my children, in a room during the search. She was under supervision by a police officer. And there was no body cam video from the search. I have seen numerous cases where body cam video was used during searches, yet it wasn't used during the search in my home. Then I want to speak to Detective Jappy's investigation. Again, Compass Realty had nearly 500 sales over the years, and Detective Jappy was investigating me for 5 months of alleged bribery. And again, the investigative file on me was 100 gigabytes for 5 months of alleged bribery, whereas for Compass Realty, over 500 sales around 500 sales for over years was only 3 gigabytes. Again, just a fraction of the information that was obtained on me in that investigation.